Hello everyone, this is Laptop 251, and in this video we're going to compare the M1 MacBook Air and the M2 MacBook Air. So without further ado, let's get started. In 2020, Apple announced the M1 chipsets, and the M1 MacBook Air was one of the first Macs with the M1 chipset. Now this laptop resembles its predecessors with a similar design, and so for those laptops, the bigger differences were found inside the laptop. However, with the M2 MacBook Air, now we can see a physical difference with its design. So let's start off with talking about the differences in design. The M1 MacBook Air carries on the previous generation designs with its wedge shape. However, the M2 MacBook Air has a standard thickness throughout the whole laptop. Due to the redesign, the M2 MacBook Air has a slightly larger screen, closer to 14 inches compared to the M1, which has a 13.3 inch screen. This 13.3 inch screen is a well-known screen, and it's one of the best screens on the market. However, this new screen has introduced the notch similarly to the 16 and 14 inch MacBook Pros. In most programs, the top part will be used up as a menu bar, and due to this, you can always have the menu bar up there and have the same amount of screen real estate as before. The notch behaves the same way as on the 14 and 16 inch MacBook Pros. Moving down to the keyboard, we see a huge update with a full height function row. Why is this great? Since the full height function row is a lot sturdier than before. Since before it was just half of the function row height, it was very wobbly, which I didn't personally like. And the Touch ID is still in the power button. However, since it's a full height function row, it's a lot larger. And in my experience, it's also faster and more responsive, which is a great addition. The keyboard typing experience has not changed a lot. It's still one of the best typing experiences among all the laptops out there. The trackpad, however, has gotten slightly larger compared to the M1 model. Looking at its speaker, to be honest, the M2 MacBook Air speakers are top-notch in laptop class. However, for me, it's a step back compared to the M1 MacBook Air, since the M1 MacBook Air had a well-established speaker, but the M2 MacBook Air somehow does not perform as well. We did a test, however, to test the sound side by side, so here's that comparison for you to listen. Looking at its webcam, both laptops have pretty good webcams. However, the M2 MacBook Air has a 1080p webcam, which is superior compared to the previous model. Moving on to performance, we did a couple of tests including video editing and benchmarks. Looking at its benchmark performance on Geekbench, it reached a single core score of 1800 and a multi-core score of closer to 8,800, which is a step up compared to its 1,700 and 7,000 performance for the M1 machine. If you're looking for faster SSDs, definitely go for upgraded Mac models that have these specs. We also did a test testing video editing, and they had different results since the M2 MacBook Air has a new video encoder, and this has amazing performance. We exported a 12-minute 4K project, and on the M2 MacBook Air, it was able to export this in about 10 minutes. However, on the M1 MacBook Air, it took 6 minutes more, which is not a huge difference. However, if you're looking to edit videos, keep this in mind, since you're going to get better performance on the new M2 MacBook Air. Another place that has seen huge advancements is the battery life. Not only does the M2 MacBook Air have a bigger battery, but it's going to last you a lot longer, since the M1 MacBook Air on real-life tests have achieved around 13 hours, but the M2 MacBook Air has reached about 17 hours and can easily last 2 days of continuous usage. Another nice addition to the M2 MacBook Air is MagSafe. Now, why is this superior compared to USB-C? Well, first of all, since it has the same amount of ports, 2 USBs on the left side and a headphone jack on the right side, you will still have 2 USB-C ports freed while charging the laptop. Plus, this MagSafe easily detaches and attaches to the laptop without having to find the port entirely. And if you trip over, the laptop won't swing off, instead the cord will detach on its own. And there's a light indicator on the charging port itself to show if it's charged up or needs charging. And the MagSafe charging ports get braided cables, which is a very nice touch from Apple and gives a premium feel. And in the box, you can choose what charger you'd like. There are 3 options. There's a standard small charger, there's a standard small charger with 2 USB outlets that you can use to charge both your laptop and phone at the same time, or you can go for a higher wattage charger. It's a nice touch that you have these choices to choose from. However, do know that if you go for a select charger from both the higher watt charger or the dual charging charger, you will have to pay extra for those options. With the introduction of the M2 MacBook Air, you can choose from new colors. This is very nice if you're a type of person who would like to get their MacBook Air in a distinctive color. Now, looking at price, the M1 MacBook Air is still being sold, which is a fan favorite for students and for most people since it's a still high-powered machine. That laptop is considerably cheaper compared to the M2 MacBook Air, which starts at $1299. In conclusion, both of these laptops are great for most users who would like to do emails, some gaming on the side, some video editing, creative tasks, but want a compact, small laptop. So the M1 MacBook Air is for the type of people who like to go to school, don't really care about the extra advantages with the M2 MacBook Air, but if you're the type of person who would want the best battery life possible on a small machine, who cares about the laptop's weight, wants a bigger screen but still a small screen that is easy to carry around, then I would definitely recommend the M2 MacBook Air. Now, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Definitely like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.